Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Sonia. Today I'm going to show you how to stain a wooden door, and this process would apply to any other piece of wooden furniture. This is a door to the exterior of the front entrance of my house. It's brand new. It's never been painted or stained before, so the process was pretty easy. I'll be sure to link the products or tools that I used in the description box, so check there if you'd like more details. Please don't forget to like the video if you do like it and to subscribe for future videos coming. And let's get started. So this is the door that we're going to stain. This was actually a gift from my dad. He bought this for us and brought it all the way from Durango, Mexico, and gave it to us as a gift. So it's really nice to have something from back home in my new home. This is a beautiful red wood. I don't know the differences between all the woods, but that's what the label says, and it is beautiful. So I'm just gonna take it out of this packaging. He made sure to wrap it up really well because he drove it out here in a trailer. So I'm gonna see if there's any damages that need to be repaired before we can stain it. Here's an overview of the tools and products that I'm going to use, and I'll go through them individually as well. First is sandpaper. Here I'm showing a 220 grit, but once we started sanding, we moved to a 240. Some shop towels and also paint thinner is going to help us clean the door before we stain. This is the gel stain in the color black, and I'll explain why we use gel instead of oil a little bit later. Some gloves to protect your hands from the stain, and then the clear finish that goes on top, and a brush to apply that clear finish. The first thing we're going to do is sand the door with a 240 sandpaper. Now, even though the door is brand new, we still need to sand it to remove any minor imperfections. There's always going to be some imperfections that you can smooth out, especially since this door traveled more than 1,000 miles to get to us. You know, it's bound to have some dents or dings. So you want to smooth those out with the sandpaper. If there are any major dents or holes, you want to fill those with some wood filler first. We didn't find any, so we're doing just a light sanding. And you want to remember to sand with the grain, not against it. That's going to help it look smooth as well. This is an important step. Don't skip it because preparing it first and making it smooth is going to make a difference in the outcome of when you paint it or when you stain it. So it's important to prepare everything very well first. We're gonna flip the door over to work on the other side now. So he's going to start sanding it while I tape off and cover this glass piece here for the window. I forgot to show these tools and products at the beginning because you won't always need it unless you need to cover a glass part of it. So I'm going to use painter's tape first to tape off all the edges. And then I use a second piece of tape. I don't put it down all the way so that the plastic can be taped to the underside of it, if that makes sense. That way it's completely sealed off and I won't get it messy or get it dirty with the stain. So we do that first to protect it, and he continues to sand out the imperfections. The paint thinner is not absolutely necessary. I'm going to use it to wipe down the door and remove the dust and the dirt. But if you don't have it, or you don't want to go out and buy it, you could also probably do this with like a dry brush to remove most of the dust, and then maybe go over it with a slightly damp cloth to remove the rest of the dust and the dirt. After the door has been prepped, it's been sanded and cleaned, it's ready for the stain. We chose this gel stain instead of an oil-based stain because it's easier to apply. It doesn't make such a big mess. It doesn't need to be stirred as much as the oil because the oil does separate, and it also dries quicker than oil. So there's different methods to apply it. We took the chopped towels, and I thought about applying it like a messy way, just putting a bunch of on there and then letting it sit for 3 minutes and wiping off the excess. But he had a better idea and said, that would take too long, so apply it not too liberally, but enough so that you don't have any drips or any globs of it anywhere. And so we found that to be a little bit easier. And then for the second side, instead of flipping it over because it was gonna damage that stain, what he did is drill a piece of stick at the top so that we could lean it against the wall and get to staining the second side right away. Also, it's easier to use a brush to get into all the little grooves, the nooks and crannies, and you want to do those first and then go over all the flat areas after.
The next day.
We let the stain dry for a full 24 hours, even though it doesn't always need that, but we were just busy, so we couldn't get to it sooner. So we are going to start by taking a dry brush and just brushing off any dust or dirt that has settled on it while it was drying. Want to do that first so that the clear finish doesn't pick up any of those particles. And the final step is to apply the clear coat or the finish coat. We chose this in a satin finish, and we're going to use a brush to apply it. So we dip the brush into the can of the clear coat, and you don't want to put too much on your brush because you don't want it to drip and leave any drips on your door. We start off by all the grooves first and the nooks and crannies, and then move on to the flat areas. You do want to be gentle with this. You don't want to be applying too much pressure on the brush as it might pick up some of the stain with it. So just apply it all over the door evenly. This is important because it's sealing the door. This is an exterior door, so it's going to be outside, or at least one half of it's going to be outside. You want to make sure it's protected from the rain and things like that. So after sealing the first side, we let it dry for a tiny bit, and then we flip it over and seal the second side. And this is how it turned out. The black color goes very well with the color scheme of the exterior of the house, and the glass pane, that little window, gives it a nice little detail that I love. It's definitely an upgrade from the door that we used to have, and it's actually part of a bigger project that I completed in that front entrance, the front porch of the house. There's other upgrades that we made, so I'm gonna have a video about that on the channel soon, so stay tuned for that. Again, don't forget to check the description box if you want details on the products that I used. Also, if you like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe for future videos. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.